Recently on FIFA, I've been working on creating some custom tactics and instructions for you guys to try something different. Today, we're going to be talking about a formation which can bamboozle your opponent, catch them off guard, and is very effective to go ahead and score more goals. Let's go ahead and jump into the video. Just a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, if you do enjoy this video, please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Your support is greatly appreciated. So, what are we going to be talking about today? Can we get a drum roll, please? It's the 3-5-2. I've been working on the 3 at the back formations and the 5 at the back to try and find the right sort of custom tactics and instructions to help you guys have good balance in defense, but obviously that kind of killer instinct in attack that we are looking for. First of all, the 3-5-2, don't get caught out and go, oh, it's a 3 at the back, I'm not sure about that, if I can defend it and whatnot. One of the reasons why I like a 3 at the back formation, you can use your middle centre-back to really press and be aggressive on the opponent when they pick up the ball with their cam, for example. You then have the 2 centre-backs covering in behind. And as long as you've got right mid and left mids who can trap back and help in the defence, it can really actually help you be aggressive, but also have some numbers back in defence. One of the reasons why the 3-5-2 is so great, though, is that A, it offers 2 strikers up front. B, it has a centre attacking mid. And C, it has width in the left mid and the right mid. So it really does have a lot of options for you to have everything that you could ever really want from a formation. So let's go ahead and kind of jump into it. Talk about the team, what sort of team you will need to build to go ahead and have this as one of your formations on FIFA 22. So then, this is the team which I have been using a bit of 3-5-2 in, and also the 5 at the back. So I play Dante as my left centre-back. I have Marquinhos as my right centre-back, and I actually play Verratti as my middle centre-back. You'll be surprised actually how good he is there. Trust me, it works to a weird extent. Hakimi as my right mid and Amavi as my left mid. Hakimi and Amavi are quite crucial, really, in this. It depends how you want to do it. I tried attacking players. I tried the likes of Dembele, Rashford, Son, these sort of players there, which can work to an extent. But they don't have that out-and-out defensive sort of stat to awareness to really trap back and help out in that sort of area. So that's why I went with your traditional fullback to go in that left mid, right mid position to aid as almost a wing back, really, in that centre, in that back side of things, makes things a little bit easier. And I play Kante and Nkunku in the middle. I play Fekir up front. I play Dembele as cam with Son up front as well. So, as I said, the left mid, right mid are crucial. One of the things that we will talk about as well, though, is actually your centre-backs and trying to get the most out of your centre-back. So I have Dante, who's low attacking work rates, high defensive work rates, and that is so helpful in the 3-5-2. You really want to try and avoid any centre-backs. And if you play a full-back at centre-back, which you can do, you want to try and avoid having anyone with a high attacking work rate. Medium's okay, but if you have high, what you're going to find is that when you step up with, say, that middle centre-back to be aggressive, the other centre-backs may step up with you and actually really catch you out in behind. And because you don't have those full-backs tucked in behind you, you do need to try and be mindful of that. So your choice of centre-backs here will be, kind of essential. So as you can see, medium high and low high on our 2 centre-backs there. And then, yes, we do have Verratti, who isn't the best in that sense, but he is medium high work rates, which is why he kind of works for me. So let's go ahead and talk about the custom tactics first of all and how it works. Now, I originally went with this on a press on possession loss. I tried press on heavy touch and I wanted to be aggressive with this 3-5-2. However, it just didn't really work for me. I felt players were getting too caught out of position. And obviously, because you've got the ball on the wing kind of as a big option for the opponent to try and exploit, I had to be careful of that, which is why I went with balance. One thing that you may say is, when can you use this formation? Can you use it at the start? Is this something you can use for the 90 minutes? Yes, you can do. If you want to use it as a formation to be more aggressive and get back into the game, you can do that as well. But I probably would go a press on possession loss. And I'll talk about something else in a minute to touch on that for you. So I'll go balanced. I'll go 40 width and 55 depth. All this is fairly neutral. The reason why the 3-5-2 is so good as a whole is where it sits, everyone. You don't really need to tinker with it too much in the width and the depth. Because your 3 centre-backs sit in more narrow, right? When you look at this, you've got your 3 centre-backs in here. If you actually, vision them on the pitch, they are literally tucked into the 18-yard box. So you don't need to make them any more narrower. That is already narrow as it is. And you want your right mid and left mid to be in these sort of areas. You can't give up the wings too much, but they can tuck in ever so slightly. The depth, obviously, is something that only takes into account when you don't have the ball. That's how quick your team is going to drop back when you don't have the ball, right? Depth doesn't make a difference when you have the ball. So we have 55 depth here. I want my team, because we've got the 3 centre-backs and because we've got the 2 centre defensive mids, I want them to hold their line to an extent, right? We don't want to be camped inside our own 18-yard box because then it may be difficult for us to get the ball back, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. But we don't want to be too high up that the easy balls in behind are kind of there. So 55 is just fairly neutral for me and works well. If you think you're getting caught with the through balls too much, before you change your depth lower, I'd ask you to probably look to press the ball holder a little bit quicker, or right stick switch, select one of the wide centre backs and just cover the through ball in behind, which can work really, really well. In terms of build-up play, if you are using this as your go-to formation for 90 minutes, you can run balance, and that's what works for me. However, if you want to use this as a formation to get back into the game and maybe offer something else, then feel free to go fast build-up here. Fast build-up works really well in the 3-5-2. It helps transition your left mid and right mid up into attack and obviously get your cam and strikers involved as well. Now, I do go for direct passing. Direct passing is something that I've been enjoying quite a little bit on FIFA 22 recently, to just kind of have the players available, make the runs and look to get those balls with the RBA, the R1Xs, those driven passes, drill it into your winger, drill it into your striker and really look to penetrate. 45 width on there, again, fairly neutral. We've already got quite a narrow option anyway, with obviously the cam and the 2 strikers and the left mid and right mid. I don't want them on the touchline out here, literally out here on that, because we've got majority of our players in that middle area. We need them to just be tucked in ever so slightly. So they still offer the width, but we don't want them so far away that we're never going to be able to find them. I go for 3 players in box purely because if I'm getting into the box, it's going to be the strikers, the cam, and maybe the left mid or right mid, depending on which side I'm tacking on. I don't want my centre defensive mids all pushing up as well, so I go 3. If you're chasing the game, feel free to increase it. Just know that you're very much going to be left with just your centre-backs to defend with on the counter, which can be a little bit risky, all right? So just be mindful of that when you get there. Now, when it comes to strikers, how do we have this set up? One thing I'm going to talk about for this player instructions is what can really help in a 3-5-2 is your D-pad instructions. So we'll touch on the right mid and left mid in a minute and how that can play a part. I go for stay forward on both my strikers. Why do I do that? Well, you guys know that strikers drop deep this year, especially with someone like Son with a high work rate. He wants to get back. He wants to help in defense. No, Son, stay up the pitch. That's where I want you to be. So we go for stay forward on these. I don't put either of them on getting behind. I found recently on next gen and on old gen, people are sitting deep. People are playing deep defensive lines, kind of drop back, you know, sitting in their 18-yard box. I just find it pointless putting them on getting behind, because what will then happen is when you're sat 25 yards out from goal, your Son will go, yeah, I'll have the ball. I'm going to run in behind. Oh, wait, there's no room to run in behind. And it's pointless. The way you can get around this is by triggering the L1 button, the LB button, to send that player on a run. So say if you pick the ball up in the middle of your half, and you want your striker to run in behind, as long as you're facing that striker, tap the L1 button, tap the LB button, trigger that run, and you'll see him then start making that run. It's an easy and effective way to do it without being on getting behind. So stay forward for both of our strikers on there, just to keep things fairly balanced, you know, not changing it. If you want one on getting behind, you can do. If you've got an Mbappe and you'd rather him make the runs for you, feel free. Just make sure that you have the other one on balance to kind of give you that self the best of both worlds. It's a typical theme for me, my centre attacking mid, stay forward as well. We want to have a little bit of a counter-attacking threat. Having your cam on stay forward just helps you do that. What I will say is manually switch to this player to bring him back and help out in defense should you wish to. Because if not, you're going to just be defending with your 2 CDMs, and that can make it quite difficult for you to do that, actually. So if you have the ability to just grab that centre attacking mid, pull him back in, get him back into the right area, feel free to do that as well, okay? For our right centre defensive mid, this is my proper centre defensive mid, the guy that I want to stay back, the guy that I don't want to get forward, the one that I want to be there to break up the counter attacks, to intercept, to put pressure on and that sort of thing. Cut passing lane, stay back while attacking, cover centre. This for you would be your Kante, your Zakaria, your Kessie, you know, whoever that may be, your proper DM that you want there to make those tackles. Our left centre defensive mid, which is my more attacking centre mid. So this might be for you Pogba, this might be Bruno, this might be Kevin De Bruyne, it might be Nkunku. I have him on balanced cover centre. Nothing else changes, literally just cover centre. The reason why I have cover centre is because I want the wing to be these players. That's what I want them to interact with. I don't want these players here going out towards the wing. So I just keep them on cover centre to keep that really compact and really narrow, really narrow on that side of things. Now, Left mid, right mid. You have to have these on comeback on defense. If you don't have them on comeback on defense, what will happen? It's normally the right mid. The right mid will swap with the right center defensive mid, and he'll play center defensive mid, and Kante will go out wide. The only way around that is to go comeback on defense on a right mid and left mid, or stay forward. But then you really are going to be punished if you leave them on stay forward. So you have to have them on comeback on defense. Okay, it's just part of the 3-5-2. EA have never fixed this bug. It's the same in the 4-5-1. It happens with the right attacking mid and the right mid. The same with the 4-1-2-1-2 narrow, the center attacking mid and the right center mid swap. It's just a bug with a formation. That's your only way around it. All right. What I will say when it comes to these, you can use, so if you feel like you want more width to really spread the play, switch the play, you're holding out the game, whatever it may be, use the D-pad instructions to put them on stay wide. You can also use them to get into the box or hug sideline, whatever it may be. Use the D-pad instructions. If you press up on the D-pad, you'll see your options that you have to be able to do that, and down on the D-pad to kind of go from there. That can really help you take the game to the next level when you do hug sideline or get into the box. It can just help you change your tactics without having to pause it and actually change anything, which is a bonus. So come back on defense, completely balanced. I did used to run getting behind here on the supportive runs. I think it's good. I think it can work if you're being direct. If you're running the fast build-up and you're chasing the game, go getting behind on these. But for me, because these are, you know, proper fullbacks and they're good going forward, I just felt like having them on balance and not having them on getting behind was better. Because sometimes I make the running behind when I trigger the run, but sometimes they're so short. It just kind of gives me the ability to hold the ball and kind of spread the play in the 3-5-2. And then for our centre-backs, we obviously go just balanced on here. You know, we don't change anything on our centre-backs. And the goalkeeper, I actually go comes across his sweeper keeper. That's something that I've been running a lot recently and works really, really well in my opinion. So that's what I've been doing on there. So you guys can obviously go and put that into your game should you wish to. Now, how does this formation want to work for you guys? The reason why it's so good is because A, it's a 3 at the back and you have everything available. B, if people play 4-1-2-1-2 narrow, 4-4-2, they really struggle to deal with it. They kind of have to adapt and change. Your biggest kryptonite in the 3-5-2 is if someone plays 4-2-3-1 and has their attacking mids all on stay forward. That's where you're going to be punished because your right mid and left mid are going to push up. They're going to leave one center attacking mid free essentially, or attacking mid free, and your 3 center backs aren't going to be able to deal with it. That's the biggest problem. But other than that, it's a great formation to just catch people off guard. They don't expect it. They don't know how to deal with you having width, men through the middle, and kind of those extra men available in attack as well. So let me know how you find it should you wish to go ahead and put it into your game. If you have any questions, pop them down below in the comment section and I'll drop your reply on there. Do leave a like on the video if you have enjoyed as well, and let me know how you find the custom tactics. Thank you all very much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.